Hi everyone, it's Angela Dahlgren. Welcome back to Touring Plans. Today I'm doing a Facebook Live. I did one at the parks last week when I was at Walt Disney World with my family. But before that, it's been, like 3 weeks. It's been a really long time. I mean, oh my gosh, it's just been kind of crazy. I've had sick kids, it's like daycare. They get better from one thing and daycare gets them something else. And it's no one's fault. It's just, kids have not the greatest immune system. So everyone's finally better, no fevers, no runny noses. So I'm back to doing videos, I'm back to doing Facebook Lives, and I could not be more excited. So if you are tuning in, tell me where you are from. I always love to see where you guys are viewing from. And we're doing a Disney dialogue question because we haven't done that in 3 weeks because I've been absent from social media and YouTube and Facebook. So anyway, my Disney dialogue question has to do with me doing a Facebook Live from the parks last week. My question is, do you like watching vlogs of people vlogging from the parks? And if you do, which is your favorite park for people to vlog from? I kind of like watching Magic Kingdom park ones, but that's just me. Let's see who we have tuning in. Catherine from Chicago. Beverly from Indiana, Angie from Tennessee, Brian from Cleveland, Ohio, Sharon from Nebraska, Jean from Maryland. Oh my gosh, welcome everyone. How are you doing? Do you guys have your coffee? Have you already had your coffee? I'm having mine now in a Christmas cup. It's never too early. Anyway, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to start off with our Disney dialogue question, which I already said. Which park do you like to watch vlogs from? And then I got a lot of questions, so many questions last night and this morning that I couldn't even answer them all, but I answered as much as I can. So I'm going to answer those for you, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the news, including some news that recently popped up around Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp. You probably already know what it is, but we're going to wait till the end to talk about it. Let's check on comments before we begin. Colin from Ohio, Karen from the UK. Hello, I was in the UK for 4 months in college. It was wonderful. Colleen from Harleysville. Brian likes specific reviews that are shorter rather than a walk around. Dan from Baltimore. Sean liked the Epcot video. Thank you very much. I felt bad about the Epcot video because I feel like you didn't see, a lot of exciting things. I couldn't go in any of the stores because I didn't want to lose connection, and that's like the most fun, is to walk inside the pavilions, and I couldn't really do that. So that's why I thought the Magic Kingdom one worked a little better, because you can see more on the outside. The connection seemed to be a little better. But anyway, let's start with our questions, and if you have anything to add or if you have your own questions, let me know, because I've rambled enough, Lord knows. Gonna take a drink of coffee, and then we'll get started. Okay, so Ben wanted to know any word on park hours for Pandora World of Avatar in September. That's opening, May 27th? So he's wondering about if it will be open later, like till 1 a.m. in September. I took a look for you, Ben, and in September, I'm only seeing early magic hours, those morning ones from 8 to 9, but I also see that the park's staying open a little later, specifically in July, it's open till 10 p.m., and so Animal Kingdom is staying open later. I do see on the 31st of May, it's open till 1 a.m., but as far as September, all I can see is those early magic hours for you. Sharon said, no question right now, just wanted to say, may the 4th be with you. Okay, so I'm Catholic, so whenever anyone says, may the 4th be with you, I always want to say, and also with you. Is anyone else like that? I just can't help it. But thank you, Sharon. May the 4th be with you. Jeff wants to know, when my 180 days out become available, will all my days of my stay be available for an advanced dining reservation? So if you haven't made an advanced dining reservation, you can start making those up to 180 days before your trip, which I really suggest doing if you want to go to those popular restaurants like Cinderella's Royal Table, Be Our Guest, things like that. So what he wants to know is, when he's 100 days out, can he make it for the duration of his trip? The answer is yes. Kind of. Yes you can, but only, I believe, up to 10 days. So if you're staying for 10 days, when it's 180 days out, you can make reservations for all 10 days. Now the question is if you're staying 14 days, can you make reservations for all 14 days at once, or do you have to wait? That I'm not sure about, but for sure, if you're staying for 10 days or less, you can definitely make those ADRs all at once when you're 180 days out. Angie says that she does the Catholic tradition thing the same way. So does Dan. I know, it's like it's like I'm on autopilot too. Like I just say, and also with you. I don't know. It's just, it makes me laugh too when people get that, because it's like we're trained to do it. Okay, Kara wants to know how rider swap works. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about it a little bit, just kind of tell you the gist of it. But if you guys want a YouTube video on rider swap, because there's actually more to consider than you might think, let me know and I'll put that on my list. So rider swap is basically when, you know, let's say 2 adults are on vacation with kids, and the kids are either too young or they're not tall enough to go on a certain ride, but the 2 adults want to go. So what happens is one stays with the kids, one stays with the kids while the other adult goes on the ride. Other adult comes back, second adult goes on the attraction. So Cara wants to know, how does it work? Like, how do you do it? So when you get in the queue for the attraction, tell the first ride attendant, ride cast member, that you want to do that. And what they'll do is they'll let the first adult go on through the queue, and then they'll give a slip of paper to the second adult, the one that's waiting with the kids. And then that second adult can kind of go in whenever through the Fast Pass Plus line and experience the attraction afterwards. I'm saying a lot of words to get this out. I'm sorry. I think it's the caffeine. So if that makes sense, basically, second adult who's waiting with the kids gets a slip of paper, and they can return later, you know, actually whenever, through the Fast Pass Plus line. It doesn't have to be right away, right after that first adult's done. It can be whenever. It can be at the end of the night if you really want it to. So there's an answer for you. Let's see. Tina said that's only as far as my, Tina said as far as the advanced dining reservations, the ADR 100 days out, she said that's only if you're staying at a Disney resort. So that's good to know. It's good to note. And then Tim said resort reservations 499 days out. I'm glad that you brought that up, Tim, because I had another question about that, which I was going to answer, so I might as well do it now. And yes, you can book reservations for a hotel up to 499 days before the end of your trip, okay? But, you know, you're probably not going to get any specials. You're not going to be able to book packages that early on because they're not out yet. The pricing isn't out. So what you can do is you can always book the room, and then once those packages and specials come out, you can rebook pending availability. So, yeah, there's your answer for that. Chris said if staying 14 days, you can only book 10 days. Yep, the next day you can book for the 11th day. Just had to do that. Okay, so we have an exact answer for that. So if you're staying past the 10 days, Chris says, you know, the day after you can book the 11th day, the day after that, the 12th day. Thank you for answering that. I wasn't sure if that still applied. I actually had to ask Brian for this one because I'm like, I don't know the answer. I haven't had to do this. So he had the answer for me, and thank you, Chris, for just solidifying that. And thank you for your comments throughout this. It's always fun to see what you guys have to say. And I see there's 62 of you joining me. So hi, if you're just joining, Angela Dahlgren doing a Facebook Live. Okay, so next question is by Cindy. She said that she bought a 10-day park hopper, and they just extended their trip from 10 days to 12 days. So she's wondering if she should just buy an annual pass. And she's also wondering that she already bought the tickets. Can she go back to Disney and just pay the difference for the annual pass? Yes, you can do that. You can definitely kind of exchange your tickets and then pay the difference for an annual pass, but do not use the tickets first. Don't use the tickets first, because then they're going to take a day off and then you'll end up paying even more. So if you haven't used the tickets, that's great. You can go to Disney, you can exchange it and get an annual pass. If you can do it, I would. There's a lot of really good benefits, especially this year, to being an annual pass holder. Because they're celebrating like their 45th year of annual pass holder or something, or Disney, I don't know. Anyway, the benefits are better. First of all, if you got it this past like winter, you're getting 13 months of a pass, which is an extra month, so that's awesome. And you get discounts on merchandise, you get discounts on dining, on excursions, like any tours that you want to do in the parks, you get discounts on that. You get money off going to the movies at Disney Springs. You get discounts on mini golf, any recreational things, whether it be parasailing or bike rentals or fishing, or I had another one written down, the horse-drawn carriage ride at Fort Wilderness. You get discounts on that. So it really is worth being an annual pass holder. If you are one, let me know in the comments and tell me which perk that you like the best, because I've been one before, really enjoyed it. I don't know, you just feel so special when you're an annual pass holder. But I didn't renew this year. But let me know if you enjoy it, if you think it's worth it. Okay, Jeffrey, what do you recommend? Pop or All-Star? Pop Century. Touring Plans is very big as far as value resorts on Art of Animation and Pop Century. My aunts just stayed at Pop and they loved it. They loved it. They've done moderate resorts, they've done deluxe, and they just loved Pop. They thought it was a good location. They thought, you know, some of the value resorts can be kind of bigger, some of the moderate resorts can be kind of bigger, but they just definitely recommend it. I have a video on value resorts, so I can link that if you'd like. I'm looking here, the camera's here. I'm doing landscape, and so I'm not used to it. I have a video on value resorts, which I can link, and then you'll learn more about Art of Animation and Pop and why we think they're so good. But for Touring Plans, those are our two top value picks. Julie loves the hotel discounts. Oh yeah, it's definitely nice, especially if you're not going to be staying in your whole room a lot. You know, I mean, get a discount if you can. Brandy's heading to Pop on Saturday. You did choose well. You did. Dan's going to become annual pass holders when they arrive in June. I hope you enjoy it. And then we have a note from Matthew Seymour. I'm trying to see the whole thing. So he's getting mixed reviews on the early November trip. You guys can read along with me. Some are saying heavy crowds. I know the marathon brings in tons of people, but we've been there the last 2 years, and the crowds have just seemed moderate. I actually have experience with this, Matthew. I went last November, very early, and the crowds were good. I mean, there wasn't an issue. I brought my 2-year-old at the time, and it was not bad at all. I've been there during spring break, and this was nothing. This year, I'm going in early to mid-November, and it's the week before Thanksgiving. So I'm wondering how the crowds are going to be then, but like you've been there the last 2 years and it hasn't been bad. I haven't noticed it being bad either. But I do notice around the marathons, it does get busy. We normally go in February, and if we're around the Princess Half Marathon, it's always super crowded. But like if you're going during the week, I would imagine you'd be fine. I really love going in the fall. It's kind of my favorite time to go because it's just low crowds, and you have the Halloween party or the Christmas party. Eric wants to know what I think about the Disney dining plan. Just put a video out on this a few weeks ago. It's actually really helpful. I learned a lot researching. I'm not like tooting my own horn and being like, I did a good job. But it is really helpful to just see it all laid out there. And what touring plans, what our kind of thing is on that is, we think the quick service plan is probably worth it. But the other two, when you really price it out meal by meal, we're not sure that the other two plans are worth it, meaning the standard and the deluxe, just because it's a lot of food, and depending on the ages of, if you're going with kids, some kids don't eat that much, so you don't need that much food, even with the standard. So, well, we've priced it out, and based on a few factors, we think that probably the quick service is more worth it. We're not so sure about the standard, but then again, a lot of people like the option of just paying for your food beforehand and not worrying about having to keep a budget. That's a really nice perk for people. So do what's best for you and your family. We're not here to be like, don't do it. We're just giving you our, suggestions. Peter is an annual pass holder and a DVC member. The combo makes it worthwhile. I hear the same things. My aunt and uncle do the same thing, and they also have Tables in Wonderland, so they get tons of discounts, especially when dining. If you don't know what Tables in Wonderland is, it's basically like a card you can buy, and you get discounts at certain restaurants around Walt Disney World. And it really does pay for itself if you're like a Floridian or if you go there a lot, because it does bring down the price, especially if you're eating with a lot of people. Sean, toss up Wilderness Lodge or Animal Kingdom Lodge. Only could get free dining at Animal Kingdom Lodge. you know, I hear the best things about Animal Kingdom Lodge. I just hear everyone who stays there absolutely loves it. I have not, and I have only walked through Wilderness Lodge. I may be staying there in November, so I can give you a better idea then, but like, that's not going to help you now. It's not November. But I hear the best things about Animal Kingdom Lodge. Try it out for yourself. I would assume it's a little farther from the rest of the parks because, you know, it's by the Animal Kingdom area, but busing will take you anywhere you need to go. So I think it's going to be a good choice for you. I hope that you enjoy it. Let's get back to some questions while I wait for you guys to ask more. Okay. Wait, Gail said, how do they get guests out of the park before Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party? Oh my gosh, I didn't know you guys had this many questions. This is awesome. I've been there for the Halloween party, and basically they give you a wristband, and they check your wristband before you go into, like, farther into the parks, like I'm saying, like, past Main Street. If you are a guest who does not have a ticket to the Halloween party, technically you can stay. Technically. Wait, is that right? No, that's not right. I'm thinking extra magic hours. That's not right. Disregard. I'm wrong. I'm thinking extra magic hours. My brain is full of goo. Anyway, how do they get guests out of the park? They give people who are going to the event a wristband, and they check it. You know, they have these little lights, and they check it, and they kind of slowly phase the other guests out of the park. Dan did the dining plan in 2009, too much food and time at the restaurants. And, Wendy asked about free dining. Free dining, if they're going to include it, I would say do it, but if you get the free dining, I don't believe that you can then do the room discount. So price that out beforehand. Price out what it's going to be for your family, you know, what you would be paying otherwise, because you don't get the room discount if you're doing the dining plan, to my understanding. And I'm pretty sure I'm right because I just looked this up. But correct me if I'm wrong. I'm my youngest. I'm used to being told I'm wrong all the time. It's Columbus Day weekend. What will the crowds be like? Columbus Day weekend. Oh my gosh, sorry you guys. It's so shaky. I keep touching my phone to check the comments. I'm not sure. I will go on the crowd calendar after this, and I will let you know, Cherise, so that you get an answer for that. Matthew says, if we go to Magic Kingdom the day after the last Halloween party, will the castle be lit up with Christmas lights? I'm not sure, actually. I have only been at the Halloween party in late September, and I've only been to the Christmas party in, I think it was like November 9th. So I'm not sure, but the turnaround is very quick. And I know that the Christmas party starts earlier this year. That's a very good question. I don't know that. If anyone else knows, let me know. All right. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'll get to some more questions. Someone wanted to know, it was Angela Jenkins. She wanted to know, can you go over recommendations for doing a touring plan of Animal Kingdom when Pandora opens? I looked that up for you just so you can kind of know what to expect and what you might want to do. This is for a standard one-day touring plan. So what we would suggest is as soon as the park opens, go straight to Pandora World of Avatar, which is what it's called, and then go to the Navi River journey. This is just what we would suggest. And do that right away. But have a fast pass for 9 o'clock for Flight of Passage. So then you can do that pretty much right afterwards. And then, you know, you can also make fast passes for like Expedition Everest at 10. So after the Flight of Passage, you can do Kilimanjaro Safaris at 12:30, and then make an 8 p.m. fast pass for either Cali River Rapids or Rivers of Light, whatever you prefer. That is kind of what we would suggest when it comes to Pandora once it opens. But we will also know more once it actually opens. And I can talk more about that in a little bit. Cherise, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is great on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I agree. If you're going to do any of the parties, go during the week, because the weekends are going to be a lot less crowded and sometimes more expensive. They're also more expensive the closer it gets to Halloween or Christmas. So if you're going to do those parties, go during the week. So much, I mean, it's less crowded. Although right now they're just getting so popular that I don't know if that makes a difference. But when I went last year, it was not as crowded. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, this is shaking, you guys. I'm just trying to scroll down. Any chance there will be more discounts released for late fall dates? I don't know. I think those dates already came out, Angie, so I'm not sure that more are going to come out. Okay. I know, like, this silence is not helping you guys at all while I look through questions. I'm sorry. Here we go. Okay, I've scrolled down to the bottom. Okay, let's do a couple more questions. Bridget wanted to know about any soft openings as far as Pandora. Are they going to do soft openings? Oh my gosh, Bridget, I'm answering your question right now. This is perfect. Bridget just asked again, so that's awesome. She wanted to know, are they going to do a soft opening this weekend? There's a high chance that they could. If they don't, I'd be really surprised if they didn't do soft openings by next weekend. But you have to consider that soft openings are kind of hard to predict because it just depends on the attraction. Like, for example, they did 2 months of hard openings for Expedition Everest, and they kept pushing back the soft opening for Rivers of Light because of technical difficulties. So it's really hard to kind of predict, but World of Avatar seems to be pretty ready. It seems to be like a well-oiled machine. It seems like they've been working on it forever. So I wouldn't be surprised if you started seeing soft openings this weekend or next weekend, Mother's Day weekend. But annual pass holder previews are the 13th to the 21st. DVC, Disney Vacation Club previews are the same time, but only in the mornings. And then there's also cast member previews that are May 5th, 6th, and then I think the 8th to the 12th. Yeah. So to answer your question, it's highly likely that they could, but it also just depends on the attraction. So probably. Elise said, thanks for having such a great site. I wouldn't want to plan my trips without it. Thank you, Elise. We love helping you guys out. And I know just, even before I worked for Touring Plans, I was looking at their website for information when I was planning my own trips. And it's those little things that you wouldn't even think about, like how rider swap works. You just kind of hear about it, but you're like, well, how do I do it, Or, right when the park opens, how do you get to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train right away? What's the best route to go? We tell you things like that, and that's really, really helpful. I'm not just biased because I work for them. Those are things that I find helpful because I still get confused in Magic Kingdom, even though it's not super, it's not super busy. Lindsay wanted to know, when will Halloween party tickets go on sale? They normally go on sale in May or June, so, keep a lookout. We will alert you. Normally, I think Ricky writes that up when she finds out. So just look on our Facebook page or Twitter or our blog because we normally put that out right away. Will FastPass Plus have separate tiers when Pandora opens? Probably. Yeah. I mean, I would guess that, well, as far as like the Pandora attractions, I imagine would be tier 1. So you would only be able to pick one of those. And then tier 2 would kind of be the other attractions. That's what I would assume, and I think that's actually, yeah, that's what it is. Which is kind of a bummer, but that's when you follow our touring plan. That's why you go early in the morning, go straight to one of the Pandora attractions, and then get a fast pass for the second one. Then you'll be able to do both of them. Although if you want to do the boat one, oh my gosh, why am I having a brain fart right now? I don't sound professional. Oh, Navi River Journey. That's going to be really cool at night because of the bioluminescent plants. So, I don't know. You might want to make a fast pass for later. Let's see. Let's see what else. I want to get through questions that people asked in advance. Steve had quite a few questions. He wanted to know about Epcot for the food and wine. He wanted to know if he can reflect that in his touring plans if he's making one. Kind of. You can definitely make a note of it. We have an additional info box that you can put that in. And you can definitely look up the crowd calendar for that time when you're going. Other than that, you can actually build in the Eat to the Beat concert series into your touring plan. And so that's my answer for that. What time should we arrive at the road drop to get on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train? Paula, someone else asked that question, so I'm glad you asked that. Where is that? I think Christy did. Yeah, Christy asked this question, so I'm glad you asked it, and it was my next one, so that's kind of perfect. Can you explain the new rope drop procedure at Magic Kingdom? I want to know where I should be situated to do Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I experienced this firsthand when I was there last week. Or the week before. So this is kind of how it goes. 60 minutes before Magic Kingdom Park opens, guests are let in, and you can peruse Main Street USA, you can get some coffee, which is definitely what I would do, and you can kind of hang out in the hub. However, you cannot really go beyond the hub. unless you have a dining reservation to be our guest, which we did. And then you just go to a cast member and you tell them, and I think you show your magic band and then they let you proceed. But you just basically can hang out in the hub and then watch the rope drop ceremony show that's on Cinderella Castle stage. So as far as getting to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train from there, what you're going to want to do is, once the rope drops, which it literally drops, you go through Cinderella Castle, go there, and then you walk past the right side of the carousel, okay? So go through the castle, walk to the right side of the carousel, and then pass Princess Fairy Tale Hall and the Friar's Nook, and you'll see the entrance for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train on your left. So you can always rewatch this part if you don't remember, but yeah, I hope that helps you guys out. And do I think that the boat ride will shuffle through crowds quickly? I don't, for the Navi River journey. I don't know. I really don't. I mean, you kind of see that happen on anything if it is like Pirates or It's a Small World, you know? Peter Pan seems to be a little faster, but if this actually is a boat ride, which it looks like we're seeing, you know, I would expect kind of how it would be with Pirates or It's a Small World, but you guys might know more than me, and in that case, let me know in the comments. Has Epcot done anything with the space by Interventions? Not that I know of. I mean, it just kind of seems like it's sitting there. I haven't heard any rumors. I'm not really on the inside when it comes to like what's happening with that, but as of now, I have not heard anything. Other questions? Chris has an 11 a.m. lunch reservation. What time do I need to show up, and what happens if I'm 5 to 10 minutes late? So I'm sure this has happened to you guys where you make an advanced dining reservation or an ADR and something happens where like a kid has to go potty, or like you miss the bus and you're late and you're kind of freaking out. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late. What are they going to do? Are they going to charge me a no-show fee? What's going to happen? So if you have like an 11 a.m. lunch reservation, Chris, I would show up 15 minutes beforehand, because then that 15 minutes will give you leeway in case, you know, like it's crowded in the turnstiles, and, you know, if it's a high crowd day or whatever. Get there 15 minutes beforehand to the restaurant. If you're late, Disney's pretty good about accommodating you. Gosh, I referred to the moms panel for this one, and someone said they were like 60 minutes late, and Disney still did their best to accommodate them. I'm not saying be 60 minutes late. I'm just saying if you're 5 to 10 minutes late, Disney's pretty good about getting you seated, although there might be a longer wait. So keep that in mind. Yeah, so that's my question. And what time do you need to show? Okay, I answered that question. Okay, and yeah, you guys, did I get through most of my questions? Steve wanted to know how long should we allow to get from hotels to the parks? It really just depends. It depends where you're staying. If you're staying on property or off property, it depends when you're going, you know, like what the crowd levels are going to be and how you're going to get there. You know, my rule of thumb for me, especially if we have an ADR and we're staying on property and we need to take a bus, is I leave like an hour beforehand. That way you make sure that you have plenty of time to get there, even if you do miss a bus, and you'll get there 15 minutes beforehand. So that's my rule of thumb. Obviously, if you're staying at the Contemporary and you're going to Magic Kingdom, then that's, you know, you could walk there or take the monorail, so you're not going to need to go as early. But if you're taking the bus somewhere on Disney property, about an hour early if you have reservations somewhere. Chris said, with an 8:30 ADR at Garden Grill, what's the earliest I could get in? Was hoping to be in and out to be in front of the queue for Soarin'. Let's see. You know what? I have never been to Epcot early. I'm trying to think, and I'm like, the only time I've been to Epcot early is for the Segway tour, which was so cool, and I kind of wish they would bring it back. But I imagine if the park opens at 9 and you can get in and eat your breakfast maybe fast, you can just go straight there. That happened to us in Magic Kingdom. We had an 8:10 reservation for Be Our Guest, and we got to stand in line and wait for Peter Pan's flight, and then we just walked on. Then we went across and did It's a Small World, no wait. Then I think we went to Pirates, no wait. So but when it comes to Epcot, honestly, I've never done it. So you guys, if you've done this, help Chris out. Chris, if we don't get an answer, I will look afterwards and get back to you, because I don't like to leave you guys hanging. Okay, Now let's talk about the news while we wait for some more questions. I mean, there hasn't been a ton of news other than like some Pandora footage being put out, but I mean, there's not like crazy amounts. If you live in the Florida area, why is my mom texting me during a Facebook Live? Mom, I'm on camera, come on. If you're celebrating Mother's Day and you live in Florida, or if you're going to be there over Mother's Day, there are Mother's Day brunches at Walt Disney World. Oh my gosh, I'm talking so much that I'm getting really warm and I'm starting to sweat. Okay. They have several brunches from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. They have it at places like Boma, I think Captain's Grill, yep, Cape May Cafe, The Wave, which is at the Contemporary, Garden Grove, which is at the Swan. So if you want to treat your mom, which, you guys, spoil your mom. I'm a mom. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a mom, but if you want to spoil her, you know, you can make reservations by doing 407-WGW-DINE. For a phone number to call and make those brunch reservations. Otherwise, DVC members, if you're a Disney Vacation Club member, they have a special brunch at the Fantasia Ballroom at the Contemporary, and that's from 11 to 1, and it's kind of a Tarzan theme, you know, the You'll Be in My Heart part where, you know, you want to cry because Tarzan and his mom are so adorable. They have one of those too, and you can book that, DVC members, by calling 800-800-9800. What other news? Food and Wine, the dates came out, and it's like 75 days long. That's a long time, you guys. It's from August 31st until November 13th. There's going to be 35 marketplace, you know, kiosks. Oh my gosh, if you're a foodie, get geeked, because it's going to be, oh my gosh, like, how do you even get through all that food? I want to try the Greek food again. That was amazing. And I also love Le Cellier. I mean, I love Le Cellier. Oh my gosh, their risotto. And I think they have like a filet in Canada. I'm rambling at this point. I'm talking to myself. Okay, Common wants to know how much has Disney told us about Star Wars Land? We know enough that we know what attractions are going to be there. We know that there's going to be like kind of a bar with fun, crazy, you know, galactic drinks. There's going to be, oh my gosh, there's going to be an attraction where I think you're flying the Millennium Falcon. Oh my gosh, so excited. And then there's going to be another one. Oh, why can't I remember? I think this is the one where it's like you're a rebel and you're fighting the New Order. Gosh, oh my gosh. Brian has a video on it, and I've done past Facebook Lives, and now my brain is broken and I can't remember anything. But, like, there's going to be a marketplace where you get to kind of smell the smells and meet the creatures. And I think there's going to be blue milk, which, I mean, it just kind of sounds gross, but for the sake of being there, I think I need to try the blue milk. Raise your hand if you want to, too. But, yeah, we just know that it's, oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing. And then Toy Story Land's coming, too, and I wish I had more details to give you. Other than that, I'm just like still stuck on the Millennium Falcon thing, but I have done a Facebook Live about it, and Brian has done a video on our YouTube page. So I can link that too. Paul is new to touring plans. Welcome, Paul. Taking my family in September. Question about the itinerary. If going with other family members who want to do other things, would touring plans allow multiple families to create their own? And then it doesn't show me the rest of your question, but I assume you're asking, can you make multiple touring plans for, you know, different groups of people? Yes, and I would actually kind of suggest that, because if you're going with a group of all ages, why do I always burp on camera? Is that like a nervous thing, or am I inhaling too much air? You guys, I'm so rude. I think it's worth doing, because if you're going with a large group, you know, some older adults don't really want to do what the younger adults or the teenagers want to do. So it's definitely worth kind of fine-tuning, or even breaking people off into groups who would like to do similar things. I definitely think it's worth it. You can definitely do that on our website, or you can personalize your own, but we definitely have a lot of kind of our own plans for you to choose from, depending on the park and, you know, if you're traveling with small kids or seniors or whatever. But yeah, there's definitely value in that. Okay, so I kind of hinted at this earlier on. Jack Sparrow, aka Johnny Depp, surprised guests who are on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland. Let me know if you saw this video, because it was very, very cool. So if you didn't see it, basically as guests were going through the attraction, you know that scene where the village is kind of being like looted, and the villagers are tied up, and the guy's being dunked in the well. Johnny Depp was standing there, I think, by where the people were tied up, and he's talking to them, and it was, you know, you could tell he wasn't an animatronic because he was moving very freely, and he was saying kind of lines to make himself known and everything. And you should just see people's reactions. They were so geeked. Like, imagine teen girl screams, but like from everyone times 1,000. They were so excited. And I think he was doing that to promote Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales, which comes out the 26th. The 26th, is that right? Yeah. And if you don't know what that one's about, basically ghostly pirates want to kill Jack Sparrow, and he needs to find the trident of Poseidon to live. So that's what that's about. I don't know. Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom are going to be in this one, so I might actually see it. I haven't seen the last couple because I'm like, there's a lot, but I might go see this one. Yeah, and I think that's all I have to talk about today. I really have, that's all the questions. I've enjoyed doing this. I'm so glad that you guys joined in. I've missed doing Facebook Lives. I will be there. I'll be at Walt Disney World in June for just a couple of days, so I will make sure I do a couple live feeds while I'm there then. Let me know which park you want to see. Be sure to visit touringplans.com for all your travel planning needs, and subscribe to our YouTube page for more videos from me where I make a goober of myself and Brian, who has plenty of great information. I will talk to you guys in 2 weeks, and have a great day. Bye-bye.